watching the Comics Related Madness Network.
Hey, we're experiencing technical difficulties. I'm going to play our opener again. Hi, everybody. Here we go.
Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics Related Madness Network. So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
Your favorite podcast is Critical Blast.
Hey, we want to shout out to our sponsors, Daytona Beach Comic Con. If you are a fan of comic books, if you're a fan of comic book conventions, and if you like meeting comic book creators and getting comics and comic-related stuff, then you need to make your plans to attend Daytona Beach Comic Con. This year's show is September 9th and 10th. Silverline will be there, so you should make your plans to be there too. We'll see you there. If you like comics and find yourself in the Orlando, Florida area, doesn't everyone come to Orlando at some point in time to see the House of Mouse? But when you're here, you need to make it a point to visit Coliseum of Comics, especially the one on East Colonial Drive. They carry Silverline comics, even a limited edition Coliseum of Comics version of our comics. So, when you go, be sure to ask for Silverline Comics and tell them we sent you. OCD stands for Orlando Collector Deviants. OCD, Steve and Trish. They're a family of geeks who promote geek things, particularly those around the Orlando, Florida area. They're big supporters of Silverline, and we think you should be supporters of theirs too. Go give them some love. If you are an independent comic book maker and you need to get your independent comics made, you need to look no further than Kablam Digital Printing. They print our books, and they do a bang-up job. They're not only trusted by Silverline, but many, many independent comic book makers. Head on over to kablam.com and see for yourself just how easy it is to have your comic printed by them. And tell them Silverline sent you.
Hi, this is Tim TK, host of That Silverline Show on Tuesday. Join us at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Tuesday night as we discuss pop culture and the joys of making comics.
And I'm Scott Wakefield, host of Silverline's Wednesday Wham, where we talk about comic books and all kinds of great storytelling, sometimes with incredible guests. And we want you to join us Wednesday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you there.
I'm Roland Mann, and I host Silverline's Silver Sunday. Join me every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern as we make mine Silverline.
Hello, interwebs. It is Wednesday, and that means, we know what that means. That means Wednesday Wham from Silverline. I am joined by Barb and Rob as usual. And folks, we don't know what we're going to talk about tonight.
Audience participation.
We are begging for participation. I was a week ahead. We have a guest next week who I will announce. I want to check his bio before I start babbling on and saying the wrong stuff about him, but I want to announce him. But he's next week. And I was sitting here all fat and happy thinking, we got a guest coming up Wednesday. He's going to talk. He's going to fill the time. We're going to have questions for him, and he's going to have answers for us, and he's going to talk about his project. And
that's all true.
That's all true.
Next week.
So how about we all just sit and wait till next Wednesday? We'll just sit quietly.
All right.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Quietly and wait till next Wednesday. I will totally own that. I was supposed to come up with a topic for today, and it was not. I haven't. So I am so happy that we are all so learned and so clever and so quick with the wit that we will come up with something on the fly. I've got some stuff to talk about, but before we get rolling too far, we're in the final days. We have 4 days, not even 4 days, for like that many, like 3 and change of our current Kickstarter campaign, and it's getting close. We need you folks out there to spread the word. If you have backed this, we've got 85 backers, which is awesome. 85 people that warm my heart, and I'm sure Ron Fortier would say likewise.
Absolutely.
85 people. So thank you, everybody. And if you spread the word, we appreciate it. But if you're watching right now, please share at Steam Patriots, at Silverline on the socials. Find one of our posts with our link, or head over to Kickstarter.com. You can search Silverline Comics. You can search Steam Patriots. You can search Beyond the Stars, and you will find our current campaign. We run 2 titles at a time, and these are both second. Number 2, they are the second comic in the series, and if you there's right there, you can share it on all the socials. Tell all your friends to go grab those comics. There's great rewards, and the foil covers are up there. I wish you could see them in person. All I can do is tell you to believe me that they're awesome. They look incredible. If those of you out there have gotten the foil covers before, you know that they're fantastic looking, and they are only for the campaign. So go grab those exclusive items for the campaign. Kickstarter.com. Steam Patriots number 2. I've been on a couple shows today as well. If you would go check out Steam Patriots on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. I try to share them as much as I can. But Rory and I have been talking about our book. We've had some great interviews. All the folks out there with shows that have interviewed us, thank you for our time. Barb and Rob, I know you have done the circuit as well, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to promote your stuff, right? And and also all the work that goes into making the shows. So everybody out there who's I'm
going to put it in perspective just a little bit. Glad that you aren't like a movie star or
goodness.
Because when they put out a movie, they have to travel almost constantly for the month or so before the show comes out all over the world, and they have to do these interviews, and it is exhausting. I mean, yes, they get to go travel all over the world, but you're basically answering the same 5 questions 1,000 times every.
And sometimes they're really dumb
questions.
But yeah.
But then you're jumping on a plane and flying to the next location, and then the next location.
Yeah, and it's tiresome doing it from the comfort of your own home like this. To do the promotion circuit is a lot of work.
Just creating the books takes a lot of work, but now add on top of that pushing the dang thing, so people will realize that it's out there and we need the support. So all of you watching right now, if you haven't, go over and take a look not right now, after the show.
You can do, if you do it, keep one window open, listen to us, keep us on. We got our guests here. Vic, good evening as usual. And Vic, I don't know, your next comment, I think that does show up somewhere, people can see that, but I'm reluctant to see some topics. Star Trek, James Bond, Steam Patriots. Okay, we might just talk about those tonight.
Oh, the usual.
The usual. Okay, Infra Fan. This might be too much. This is too deep. This might need a longer episode. We'll have to plan for it. The decline of civilization, and yes, the escalated population of gophers. Now, is that just a lie from the media? The population of gophers? Which is it? What do you believe in, for fan?
Fake news.
Fake news. False.
I just saw these 2 guys last night. Did I not?
Were they on the Tuesday show?
Yes, Vic, and we had a fascinating talk last night. And one of the big things that we talked about, if you guys remember, you guys that tuned into the Tuesday night show, was something called Kirby DNA.
As in Jack, or as in the
Jack.
Rainbow, the vacuum.
Do you know what the theory of Kirby DNA is, Rob?
No, I can't wait to find out.
Yeah. Well, this is Ross Ritchie's theory of Kirby DNA.
Okay.
Is that everybody, almost about 95% of comic book artists today are influenced in some way, shape, and form by Jack Kirby.
Oh.
And I said, well, and my first response was like, I never looked at Jack Kirby. In fact, basically the only comic book artist that I saw before I became a pro was Wendy Pini. And then Roland goes, and who influenced her style? Like,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And and he just ran down all of these, well, this person was influenced by Kirby, and then this person was influenced by person A, and person B was influenced by person C, but it all trickles back to the original influence.
Yeah, it's 6 degrees of separation. Yeah,
right. And do you agree with that, Rob?
100%. I mean, I've got a Kirby print hanging right here. He's what inspired me to become a comic book artist. So it's 100% in my artistic DNA. I copied his work, and everyone else that I looked at, I also influenced me. But he was the seminal one. He was one that his work is what got me interested in comic book storytelling. That his characters jumping out of the page, grabbing you by the throat, and pulling you in. So yes, I 100% agree with that theory.
Ross is out there looking for the 5%
that aren't
influenced.
He may have to go to the jungles of South America.
He's going to have to look hard and deep
and find.
But you kind of hit on it a little bit. I think there's probably some artists from other parts of the world that were not as influenced by him, or possibly not influenced by him at all.
Mobius.
Yeah, exactly. I don't see any Kirby in his work, for one thing. There's probably some Argentinian artists that were working like for Warren magazine. I didn't see much. There's not much Kirby influence in their work either. But the Kirby's DNA is out there. The Kirby crackle is everywhere.
Yeah, I even have a special brush on my Procreate that's just Kirby crackle.
Oh, I do too. And on this Kirby crackle.
Yeah. Turn it, Rob. Turn it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Turn this off.
So this answers your question, Vic. What's he working on?
Yeah, it's on there. Yeah.
What's he working on?
What am I working on?
Yeah, what do you got right there?
I have. Well, this is that is the cover for Beyond the Stars. But what I'm working on at the moment is an illustration for a Sherlock Holmes book.
Oh, cool.
And you got Dr. Watson in the background there, and Sherlock, and then an inspector. It's not Lestrade or anyone like that. It's a different inspector, but they're standing there talking, and I've started inking it. So that's what I'm working. What are you working on there, Barb?
Barb's got some
boom
kablooies.
Yeah,
wow.
that's Cat and Mouse.
Oh, very cool.
I'm working on Cat and Mouse.
Very good.
And Infrafam, going back to being talking about being celebrities, which we practically are. I mean, we're just that close. Right? I've not heard of this documentary. Meeting people is easy. It makes it apparent how awful being a rock star is. Yeah, there's. I doubt anybody out there has not entertained just that moment of being, that fantasy of being celebrity. But I've thought about not like there's any chance of it, but when your life is constantly in front of a camera and you can't come out of a coffee shop or put on a pair of sweatpants without, I don't know. Oh, and you think of the president, I think politicians should never eat in public because they're always getting that photo from them.
There's always going to be
or walk down the steps or anything.
Yeah.
Every little trip.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Joe Biden, Donald Trump. Anytime they do something like
Gerald Ford was made fun of constantly and he was one of our most athletic presidents. To be honest, he was an athlete.
Yeah,
and yet he would stumble every now.
Even the Simpsons
cameras
made fun of him.
on, man.
Yep, the camera constant. I don't know. I couldn't. That would be awful. That'd be awful.
I've in all the jobs that I've had since I've been a comic book artist since the 80s. When I went through that period where I didn't do it as a living. I had people would find out I was a comic book artist and I'd worked for Marvel and DC and done all this stuff, and they would say, "Well, what? You need to get interviewed, and you should be famous." And I'm going, "I've already been as famous as I want to be."
Yeah,
because I've seen what fame. Oh, I do not want to be. I don't want to be famous. I would take the money.
Wealthy, yes.
Wealthy's fine. Famous, no.
When I was 18, I was a beauty queen, and believe it or not, I know that's a stretch.
No,
but
I believe it. That picture Mobius did of you, that's hot, baby.
Yes,
that's gorgeous.
Considering that that was 40 some years ago, I remember I had to take lessons on how to meet the public and how to wave. And I would you put Vaseline on your teeth to prevent them from drying out when you're smiling so much. And it was just bizarre stuff, and I was like, I wouldn't be able to live like this full time. It would be like living in a fish bubble.
Yeah.
Some people, once they aspire to be rich and famous, and they get to it, and that's why you see so much craziness with folks like that. They drink a lot, they do drugs, or they just do weird, wild and crazy stuff. Lindsay Lohan, for an example of what
especially
happens
when they're young. Yeah,
like her. And
who's the guy playing Ezra Miller?
Oh, I was going to talk about that. Yeah, because I wanted to talk about that. I need to
totally off the rails.
He went off the rails, and this is a good segue because I want to. Well, before we get too far, we'll talk about Flash. But yeah, Vic saying should have done genealogy, meaning see your
talking about the Kirby DNA
connection.
DNA.
Yeah, and says so. Ben Bishop was influenced by Eastman, and Laird were severe
Kirby fans.
Yeah.
Kirby and Frank Miller.
Oh yeah,
they were heavily influenced by Frank Miller. Yeah,
and great guest. First to recognize your internet handle. Oh, I don't know if I recognize it.
Oh, Ross did. He just right off the bat.
Might have to be. And you don't see much Kirby in manga. Yeah, it's a different. Manga has its own style. Yeah. Yep.
Although there's a lot of the foreshortening that Kirby did a lot.
Oh, sure.
There's that.
Yeah.
But
you're right.
And all the action lines. And all the action lines. There's more of them in manga, but there's some of that going on.
He is the Genghis Khan of the comic books. Yep.
Genghis Khan's DNA is everywhere.
And that Boom you showed, I'm missing the reference
for yesterday because Ross Ritchie owns Boom Comics.
Okay.
Boom Studios.
All right. Yep. All right. Yep. And Pop says, "Hey,
hi, Pops.
Hey, Pops.
Hey, Pops."
And we got a little wavy hand from R2D2 for life. And Vic saying that cash, take the fame.
Unfortunately, they go like this.
Yeah.
So I'm I'll take I'll take some of the money, and you can keep the fame.
Keep the fame. Yeah. Ezra Miller. What has he done besides being Flash? I should look him up. Has he?
Yes, and I can't think of it off. Come on,
I'd have to see it. I'd have to see it.
Yeah,
I'd have to see a picture of him to know if there was anything else.
He's got a unique countenance.
He does.
It's kind of an odd face.
Well, he's very androgynous.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
All right, folks out there, what else is Ezra Miller?
Interfan, or anybody can pop up with something here. What else?
His career started in 2008. Stuff that I've never heard of, and then Batman seems to be. That's the first thing I've heard of. I'm sorry.
We need to talk about Kevin. Infrafan says.
Yeah, need to talk about
perks of being a wallflower.
Yeah, The Flash dehydrated.
Okay, man.
It's just tell it like it is.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you maybe. So yeah, Ezra. I'm not. I gotta refresh myself. I just know that Ezra Miller kind of flew off the rails and did some. Apparently, I don't know if he's been convicted. So if he has been, if he's still, this is innocent until proven guilty. But it is odd. Yeah, and R2D2 for Life says rather not bring attention to Ezra Miller. It's a shame because I think DC didn't need that for their movie. I think could they have just made a movie and not had it fall apart somewhere? I've only seen the trailers. Of course, I don't think it's out yet. It's the new Flash movie's not out, is it? I don't think so.
I haven't seen anything about it.
No,
that doesn't mean anything. I'm not paying that close attention.
Good pre-reviews.
Yeah, I just keep allegedly. I keep. He's really messed up, and it feels it's a shame. So
well, 10 hours ago, Yahoo said that the early reaction to the Flash is overwhelmingly favorable.
So they favorable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So they managed to keep him on the straight and narrow as long
for long enough to get through the film, huh?
Yeah.
I think it all happened after making the film, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But my one question is, and this leads me to I apologize to everyone out there. I've only made it through one season of Picard. I feel like in this era of not having a lot of new material, with a lot of rehashing, Disney making live action after live action of movies that already existed, I don't have a solution for the problem. But what I see is I feel like there's a lack of new ideas, and they have to rely on fan service. Spider-Man 3 or whichever one with the other two Spiders-Man was fun. I liked that one. But bringing Michael Keaton into this, and then with Picard, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know what happened, but they had to bring the rest of the Next Generation crew in to make it watchable, because everything I've heard, everybody who's talked about Picard has said season 1 is okay, season 2 is bad, season 3 is okay until they bring the next gen crew in. So there we go. Vic, we are talking about Star Trek tonight. And Flash needs to rely on nodding a heavy nod back to the popular Batman, Michael Keaton, right? I mean, the Christopher Nolan Batman, I wasn't crazy about. I liked the movies.
I liked it.
In descending order. The third one was not my favorite. I liked the first one.
The script was a mess.
Yeah.
In the third Nolan film.
It was just all over the place. It was just all over the place. So I feel like in a lot of storytelling, and I'm using Picard and Flash as examples, they have to rely on what was Discovery. I wasn't crazy about Discovery, and the most popular part of Discovery was the Enterprise and Captain Pike, and that spinoff
has been excellent.
Better than Discovery. So I don't know what's missing. What element is can't they get now? And why do they have to rely on what was good then? Why can't they replicate that?
I don't know. Did you hear they're going to reboot Starsky and Hutch?
Again? They did it as a movie.
Yeah.
And they're going to reboot the Flintstones, only make it more modern. They're going to be older. They're going to have issues. It's called Bedrock.
Really? Are they going to have a gay old time? Is they going to still be able to say that? I can't say that. That's a song.
I am underwhelmed. I even thought of this.
I feel like there could be why can't we come up with new ideas? Why can't new ideas? And
that maybe could be the theme tonight.
Right. There we go. Did we stumble on our theme? Man, luck. It's Infofan says it's not quality, it's quantity. And we pay not to see ads. Yet when it's all about keeping us attached, it comes down to the quantity of content. And and it's having a recognizable franchise that you could just churn out. See, because I've said I would love to be the writer that Disney hires to write The Little Mermaid, because you just put the VHS cassette in the VCR and just sit at your keyboard and type the script for the new movie, because it's just a rehash of the old movie.
AI on having a built-in audience.
Yeah, and
they're counting on a built-in audience that's going to at least check it out for old time's sake.
Yeah, I'm right, and I wish, because I'll admit, like, I haven't been interested in Picard until I kept seeing just bombarded with the Enterprise D and the Next Generation crew, because that's like my Star Trek. But if they had started with it, I would feel like they knew what they were doing. I feel like they fell back onto a tried and true formula. If they had just brought the crew back from the beginning.
Part of it is
feels more like a gimmick.
They were trying to have their cake and eat it too. They were trying to create something new while using characters that had gone before. But they completely ignored what those characters were all about. Originally, they tried to shoehorn them into a whole new milieu, and it just didn't work. And that's what I'm saying, especially about Picard. It's a network or a big media company trying to figure out how to make money. It comes down to making the money, and how do you quickly and easily do that? Because the problem is that the people in charge aren't the creatives. They want this stuff, but they don't even know what they want. They say create something, but make it like Next Generation. Right. Well, we can go out and get Patrick Stewart. Maybe we'll get him to play Picard again if we throw something weird at him. So they threw something weird at him. He said yes, and they tried it.
Franchise I have seen that has been able to avoid the reboot sinkhole is 007, the James Bond movies.
Yeah, because it's not. That is a weird one, because before we get too far, we got. Vic's Infofan says you hopes he dies before Robert Zemeckis does, so he doesn't have to see a new Back to the Future. Yes, please. Or I heard rumor of redoing Princess Bride. No, please no. And did anybody watch History of the World Part 2 that just came out? Like, it was on HBO, or it was on one of the streaming services. It was a Mel Brooks. I didn't see it because I feel like there's something lost, probably because humor is getting just ruined because everyone's afraid of offending everybody, and jokes can't be told, and you could never do Blazing Saddles or the old Mel Brooks movies as they were. Do them now, not a chance. So I just kind of like
scene.
What's that?
The farting scene.
Oh, geez, okay, you could probably do that. Someone would maybe be offended, but and then Riverdale.
That's about the only scene.
Scene that
you could probably do.
Riverdale-ification of everything. Yeah, bring it all back in a new format.
Good point.
And any comedian's going to write it. It's going to be Peter David. Yeah. And then Little Mermaid. That's maybe it. I don't know what you're saying, Vic. Maybe I missed something. And then
they're redoing the Little Mermaid with Halle Berry.
Return to franchises.
People had a hissy fit because a woman of color was going to play Ariel.
Ariel's could be blue because she's a fish. I don't get what the big ruckus is about, but
that one I didn't get either.
Sometimes I wonder too, when I feel like when somebody voices I feel like every because the world we live in, any grumbling gets compounded by a billion. So I wonder how much grumbling really was there. I don't know. Is it just to get people, get attention? Infrafans saying there's no such thing as a bad view count. You're right, with number of eyes, impressions on it.
And this term hate watching, which I have seen quite a bit of recently, is a new thing where people will hate watch a show just so they can bitch about it online. The thing is, they're cutting off their nose to spite their face, because even if you're hate watching it,
you're watching it.
People think
they're
you're
getting the
yeah.
numbers, right? The Nielsen numbers are still there, and they're the advertising dollars are still going to come in.
And here we go. We can check off the Star Wars. He says you promise you won't get started. Yeah, right. I don't believe you. Star Wars, putting out so fast. Basic writing principles. It's true. I don't. This is a thing that I do not understand with just about any form of writing. You're never in a situation where you have to, unless you have written yourself into a corner and you're left with time travel or time space anomalies, which can happen. But things like movies like Star Wars, well, how do you mess them up? Meaning, it's all there to work with. Why do you have to create new material or meaning make up something when you have so much to work with? I don't get it. I don't understand. And basic writing principles, like you said, just basic storytelling. I'm baffled when you have budgets of zillions of dollars and a writing staff and continuity, and it's all thrown out. Okay, Vic. Alf. Gritty crime drama. I like that. If he could smoke a cigarette and
and then I'd be coming to Alf. My cat has disappeared. Can you find him?
Make him a grizzled detective. That's good. Oh man, that's good. History of the World Part 2 is there with New Willow. Yeah, as long as I don't watch it. You're right. If I don't see it, if I don't watch it, it can't ruin anything. Please don't ruin things.
If I don't watch it, it doesn't exist.
I did not know this. Peter David wrote the Little Mermaid comic, and he pushed for it. Gotcha. I did not know that.
He named his daughter after Ariel.
Ariel, that's right.
Oh. I don't care how much melanin the fish girl has, and and Infrafan, enough energy to complain about Star Wars. You're right, because I have said multiple times I can be of two minds about something. I can enjoy it for the fun factor, but I do so love nitpicking. I can really, and apparently my Western New York Wi-Fi is kicking in. See, I don't notice it. You guys see it. Sorry about that. And fight a roach. Is that for Alf? And that's good. Vic wants to write for you. Whoever owns Alf. I don't know who owns Alf. That might be something to look up. When's he come into public domain? He was 1980 something. You got a ways to wait.
Yeah, great. So yeah.
So Barb, you said James Bond. You're right. That is an odd franchise because it's
it doesn't follow the same pattern as most reboots, because every time they change actors, it's basically they're just continuing.
Yep.
With a different actor, but with a slight tweak to it. It's not exactly
the only one that really completely rebooted it was the last time they did it.
But they even still had the same M. That's what's confusing, because the characters that stay through have to pretend that this is a new person, but it's the same character and the same actor. Like the original M overlapped, and Moneypenny stayed through Roger Moore, and then what's that?
Q was
Q was all the way through Pierce Brosnan, and then they tried to bring John Cleese for that was Die Another Day. That's an awful movie, but it is weird because it has some continuity, but then not, and they have to pretend like we have to know it's a new person and we're starting over.
Yeah, because they change his history a little bit.
Yep.
They tweak it, with each new actor, they tweak a little bit of his background.
Yeah.
But yet they have the same M and Q and stuff like that. So it's like a really weird,
didn't the
non-typical reboot type thing?
Yeah. But somehow it works. We've all accepted it.
Yeah.
Didn't the James Bond, the Casino Royale with David Niven and Peter Sellers, didn't they made a gag that was like part of the gag that James Bond was lots of people. That's a funny movie, folks. If you've not watched the David Niven Casino Royale, it's a pretty good one. Anything with Peter Sellers is, man. Yeah, Vic, I'm sorry you don't write. Vic, you can write. I trust you. Yeah, you do, just not well. Keep trying. And we got get me back on the show to complain about Star Wars. Ooh boy, I can do some complaining. Whenever there's a fallback, I can nitpick. And I lead with another thing. And
I haven't seen the most recent Mandalorian, so please don't nitpick anything there.
I haven't seen any of them.
I've become disillusioned with those franchises. I've become disillusioned with the Marvel movies too, and it kills me. It makes my heart hurt to have been so invested. When the first Iron Man movie came out, that was many years ago. That was
2008.
To watch a trailer, like you could watch the trailer online in 2008. Vic, have you heard of 2008? I to watch that trailer with Iron Man, the comic book coming to life. Oh man. I don't know, Vic, if I can click show your next comment, but there. We're gonna jump in for fan. Compare James Bond to Zelda. They have so many connections and tropes. You could have a head continuity, but yeah, ultimately each installment is its own thing. Yeah, there's some sort of interesting, but you have to just understand that part didn't continue, and this part does.
It's just kind of a universally accepted thing.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah, each story is ultimately its own thing. Golden Comic Rule should ultimately be its own thing. Yeah. Yeah, I do. Maybe I'm not quite getting what you're saying. And for fan, are you saying each like title should be its own, or each book? Go ahead and elaborate. And Vic says haven't seen 10 minutes of the first episode of Mandalorian. Yeah. And Vic, you were a year old when MCU.
Oh God! I was 18 years old when I saw the original Star Wars in the theater. The very first one.
How many? What?
He says he was a year old when the MCU started.
So
I was 18 when in 1977 when the first Star Wars came out. So he could be my grandchild.
I was in my teens when they re-released Star Wars. Okay, Vic, I'll show you what he's saying. He wants to do gender swapping characters to see how butthurt people get. I do have a feeling I have some strong. Now I know you're being a little silly, and what I don't like, and this goes back to I feel like a lack of creativity is it's just lazy storytelling. And speaking of not lazy storytelling, Rory is joining us. He puts his heart and soul into every word,
every syllable.
Did you have a class tonight?
I did.
How'd it turn out?
It was amazing. We had to pair our first beers with food and to give presentations about like the history of beer in the region.
You have to bring a date?
I wish.
Why aren't you using that class as a reason to bring ladies along?
There's only two, and both were in my group. And both
I'm just saying, no. You go out, Rory. You find a girl and say, I'll take you out to dinner tonight. We're going to be.
I'll tell you the history of brewing in Ireland.
Yeah, I'll be pairing some food with a delicious brew.
Yeah, right.
Join me.
Right. Actually, the one kid in my microbiology class, 21 years old, afraid to light a match. And I was like, how are you going to light a candle for a romantic dinner or a bonfire? He goes, I guess I'll be real cold then, won't I?
Like,
yeah.
Oh, for
yeah. Like a match. It took me all semester to get him to do it. He finally did it and lit a Bunsen burner, but I gave him hell all semester. We called him Matches O'Houlihan. And the girls thought it was hilarious. I mean, they're like, yeah, it's probably something you should know.
Gender swapping.
Like, God forbid he see a rotary phone.
I didn't know there were pyrophobes.
Pyrophobes.
Pyrophobe.
I guess, yeah.
Huh.
Pyrophiliac?
Pyrophile.
Pyromaniac loves.
Yeah, how come maniac and file are? How come those aren't the same? How come we don't have the word pyrophile?
One's Greek, one's Latin.
But why did we pick one and one the other?
Because we're English. We have two words for everything.
Yes, at least two.
At least two. Romantic and
one that's spelled badly.
I love the Ricky and Lucy, though, thought, bow. It's like, what word is this?
Good reference. Yeah, good reference.
That was still black and white.
Yes. I just watched a documentary a couple months ago about them, and
the museum's up by you.
Yeah, it's in Jamestown.
Yeah.
That's where she was born, Jamestown, New York. I'm sure Rob knows this.
He dated her.
Yeah.
I like fake redheads.
And feisty Cubans.
That she's the reason Star Trek, why we have Star Trek, because
she is
Studios.
She is. Yes, Desilu Studios.
Yep.
Yeah, Desilu Studios.
She
She's
went
the
to
one
bat
that
for
greenlighted Star Trek. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow,
and she was the one. So I'm sorry, I didn't want to get. I'm still stuck. I can't stop thinking about gender swapping.
Okay.
I just get annoyed.
Don't come to Missouri then.
It's just no. It's just one of those. I feel like it annoys me to take a character and fundamentally change that character. It's not a hill I'm going to die on.
Sure.
But I feel like if you really, really were creative, if one was creative, make a new character.
Writing.
Make a new character.
Yeah.
It's lazy writing.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Make a new character, and you're going off the popularity of.
It's the money making thing again.
Yeah.
You try and pitch a new character. Well, that sounds a little like James Bond. Why don't we just do James Bond? Because everybody knows who he is, and they'll go. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, right. Good imagination there.
Yeah. So Infrafan was saying, he's elaborating on a previous comment. Each issue shouldn't require a previous read of any other issue. That's why James Bond works.
They're self-contained.
Yeah. So
every issue is somebody's first.
I think for some titles that works.
I agree with that. I do.
The writer set it up.
And but like with Steam Patriots, Rory and I don't know if we're gonna hit so hard at
we couldn't.
I'm sorry. I think you're gonna pick up issue number 3, and you're still gonna need 1 and 2. I wish we, maybe it's because we're not smart enough, Rory. We're not clever enough. We're not good enough writers.
You're not doing a recap at the very beginning, the text recap.
Maybe some context.
Yeah.
For the story for that one, but
two. I mean,
it's
you
tricky.
can jump in.
It's tricky. The old comic book writers and artists way back in the day could make in the dialogue you could tell what had happened before. In just a couple of panels, you could kind of recap what had happened before, just enough to get everybody up to speed as to what's going to happen in this issue in relation to what's going on before. But that's really tricky. It's
without
tricky.
it being
it's hard to do,
tedious,
without basically saying last time.
What? Previously on X-Men.
But they were working it into the dialogue in the book itself, and that's a real tricky skill. I don't know how you do it.
And
I'm not a writer. I'm an artist. So
Vic,
I'm not sure how that works.
You are right, and so we're going to just a second. We're going to divert here. Sorry, Infrafan, you're or Vic, whoever's talking about this.
Everybody, shut up.
Vic, say be quiet. We did ask for a lot of audience participation today.
We did.
Okay. Vic says when he is introduced to the term bibliophile, he put the definition as book pervert. Yeah, you're just
I love that.
I'm a real book pervert.
You're a raging book pervert.
And Green Spider appeared in 2 pages of Charlton comic. He's not popular, but she will be. Wait, What am I missing here? There's a Vic's too clever for us.
No, I get what he's saying there. Gender change.
Yes, because here we go. I like this. Yes, I can't stop thinking about gender swapping. Scott Wakefield.
Clip that.
Yep.
Thanks. Yeah,
and
in
perpetuity
Scott,
on the
you're
internet.
Stuck with it now.
Yep.
This was
fine.
from last night. Ross Ritchie brought this up. Said that Jim Shooter said that every comic is somebody's first.
Now, so okay. Here's my defense of that,
because right.
Infrafan is saying Steam Patriots is a limited run. Hopefully not terribly limited, but you're right. Jim Shooter said now when you're putting one a month out, I feel like you have a little more leeway for that. Now, when Rory and I with Steam Patriots, we're like every square inch of page is at a premium for us. I think each miniseries will be self-contained. That'll be the first. We want it to write.
Yeah, it used to be that you got a full story in one issue, but modern storytelling takes. I'm not sure why or how this happened, but it seems like a story takes at least 2-3 issues to tell anymore.
Yeah, we
I
do.
don't know if there's more
tell...
character development or what's going on, but there's more going on.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell Divinity in 4-issue snippets.
Yeah.
You know, so with an overarching plot, but a wrap up subplots in 4 issues. Then in the next 4 issues.
Right.
Yeah. Like our Ben Franklin won't last the whole time. Like that'll be tied up and come back later.
Yep.
Yeah. Vic says next miniseries you try harder. Yeah, we will try harder. It's just lazy. We're just phoning it in.
Yeah.
Writers need to study EC comics, learn how to tell a story in 7 pages.
I've heard this.
Well,
or 22 frames.
Also, those were self-contained stories. They weren't a character that was going to necessarily carry over, unless it was the narrator. In some books that did those sorts of things, there was an overall narrator, like House of Secrets, I think at House of Secrets and House of Mysteries at DC. They had a character who was the narrator, who was he was the glue that held it all together. And then they had 7-page stories set in it. Crypt Keeper is one of them, but so that's a whole different deal. When you've got a character that you're trying to continue to tell stories about, that's a different deal entirely. There's got to be some continuity there, at least some sort. I think we've gotten too wrapped up in trying to keep all. The characters have lived so long, 70, 80, and sometimes they were moving in on 100 years. On some of the characters that are out there, that after a while, the continuities, it's just going to be a mess. It's going to be spaghetti. It's a bowl of spaghetti, which is why they try and reboot it every once in a while. But then they tell the same stories they told before.
Same story.
So, why?
Just 15% different.
Just giant size, 15% more.
I'm going to do Batman where only one parent dies.
Well, it's gotten to the point they don't even need to do backstories anymore. They just roll right into it because everyone knows how Spider-Man became Spider-Man, how Batman became Batman. They don't need that.
You don't. Yeah, some of it that's good, but that's why 7-page stories worked back in the day. Yeah, because they weren't trying to include what had gone before. It's a story. It had a beginning, a middle, and an end, and that was it.
Now that's good. That is. I feel like it's a skill to have. So Vic's saying how to compress. Now was it?
Now that's a different skill.
Brian Michael Bendis, right? He was recent, like 20 years, right? He was the big decompression guy for a while, right? Like Spider-Man got his origin story got stretched out to like 4 issues or whatever when Stan Lee told it in like 6 pages.
Well, when you only put 2 words in each panel.
Yeah. See, I feel like there's a middle ground, and knowing like flash fiction, writing something, whatever your definition is, under 1,000 words. I think that's a great skill to have, and being able to compress, which is why I like I like dialogue. I like getting the most bang for your buck. I also don't. I don't want people to feel cheated, and not get a story. Mm-hmm. But I also don't want to waste people's time and money and spread out where nothing happens, like episodes of Walking Dead. Where nothing.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to starting as a short story, just to see if it's interesting, but then expound on it.
Swamp Thing happened that way. That's how Swamp Thing came about.
Yeah.
He was
Shawshank
in House
Redemption.
Those sorts of things all started as and the first Spider-Man story was what, 8-10 pages long.
Was it?
The origin story was all packed in a very short story, and then there was another story inside the issue. So
but Infrafan, you're right. You're right, Rory. Let's work on trimming this down.
We got it.
All caps. He's shouting at us.
How long did the Revolutionary War last?
Well, it depends on when you're talking. It ended at Yorktown.
I'd say Yorktown.
Yeah, Yorktown it didn't quite end, but you got 1781. So only do math.
6 years.
6 years. Yeah, 4, 5.
6 years, I think.
Come on, you can compress 6 years down into 2 pages. Get easy.
Yeah, we can do that. We could start with like tea in the harbor, have a couple panels of guns like shooting this way, then that way, and then have George Washington.
You're suggesting one big montage.
Yeah, it'll be red coat, blue coat.
Like I always say, when in doubt, montage.
Montage, do it with a montage. Have some
2-page spread.
Yep. Yeah. cold feet at Valley Forge.
Right.
And then George Washington saying, "Thank you, I accept your surrender." And that's the end.
Finito.
And then pew. Yep. And that's all, folks. For 48 pages to barely reveal the thing. And fantastic.
Really?
Or 2 movies to waste everyone's life. The fantastic movies.
Who read that junk? They were all those were all being bagged and boarded and pushed away. Nobody was reading those things.
I like this. Steam Patriots, the pamphlet.
That's
good.
That is good. There's just one parchment paper.
Yep. We can hand it out. It can be like tracts. We can leave it on the bathroom, the urinal, and hand it out. Go door to door.
Yeah.
Way cheaper to print.
Room.
Let's get Tommy. Tommy, give us a quote on a pamphlet, okay?
Rugged edges.
We're down to the last 10 minutes of our show. I didn't do my bottom. We're just cruising along without a topic, folks. This has been the topicless show for the night, and we have filled
freewheeling it
every minute.
Yes and no. We've touched on a few subjects here that are important to the comics industry.
But when we came into this, we had nothing, no idea what we were going to talk about. And as usual, we just
I
thought we would go with
it doesn't matter if we have a theme; we wander off of it anyway.
Oh, I know. It's just like every show. We have a theme, but do we stick to it? Or I blamed it on you. You were supposed to be the one.
The theme of this show was to purposely go off the rails.
Right.
I dropped it. I dropped the ball.
But before we have to shoehorn it in at the end, I want to remind. What's that?
We have 86 backers now.
Did we get another one tonight? We went from 85 to 86. Thank you, 86th backer. We are in the last days, the final days, though, the waning hours of our Kickstarter campaign, teamed up with Ron Fortier's Beyond the Stars. Folks, if you like sci-fi, if you like epic sci-fi, both of these stories are for you. These are both issue number 2. Beyond the Stars number 2 and Steam Patriots number 2. You can get issues 1 in the Kickstarter campaign. We would love for you to go take a look at them. If you've backed them, thank you. If you are the 86 wonderful, amazing, top-notch, top-shelf people, we got some artwork there
on Beyond the Stars number 2.
I have to tell you, people, that
cover C.
As a comic book artist and reader of several decades, I absolutely do love Steam Patriots. And I'm not saying that
Yeah,
just because
agree.
these
Thank you,
guys
Reader.
are my coworkers. I actually do look forward to the book. It's
Oh,
very
thank
well
you.
done.
Thank you.
I backed it.
Thank you, Rob. Thank
I'm
you, Bob.
serious. I backed it.
The story continues. If you read issue number 1, we managed somehow to bumble out a cliffhanger at the end, and the story continues. And Rory and I are working on issue 3. Well, I say working; it's pretty much
nearly
ready to
done.
go.
Yeah, it's there to
And issue 4 will come soon. We really would love to get these out this year. That's our goal, and we could use everybody's help. In a few minutes, when this wraps up, go to Kickstarter.com. Back the books, the campaign. You just search Steam Patriots or Silverline or Beyond the Stars, and you'll find it. If you want a URL to click on, get over to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's all over. We've got it everywhere. It'd be hard not to find. And make sure you share, so we can get these. In front of everybody. But we've got a great little video that is on Instagram and Facebook right now, and I know Roland and Barb are trying to BJ are trying to get everything out to in the email, the little notifications that come out. So hopefully that video will show up as well. But we've got a fun little video we made.
If you haven't watched the initial promo video, which makes us laugh, you need to watch the one Scott and I put out. It's bonus kudos. I'll give you a free hug if you could tell us what movie we ripped it off from.
If you can tell us our inspiration. So before we wrap up, Vic says he's got an original idea for Centaur Circuit that was 2-issue micro. There's going to be a 6-issue like the original Protectors. It was meant to be. Then I met in the middle and went to 4. I got to finish right. Okay, I'm sorry, Vic. It's a little stream of consciousness there. Wow, how did you do that in the time? Wow. He can talk and art at the same time.
Fastest draw in the West.
And George GW and BF co-piloting a steam mech.
Oh, that'd be and that would be good.
Steam Jaeger? Is it
Steam
from Pacific Rim?
Steaminator.
Steaminators, the Steam Jaeger. And for fan likes our video, thank you.
Machine in the tri-state area.
Steam. Man, okay, someone clip, please. We got that audio. The Steaminators. Little Phineas and Ferb reference there, and I'm not so sure, Vic. I don't know. Roland is
keep applying.
Yes, and Rob Doofenshmirtz. Rob strikes again. It's so good.
Yes,
it's so good.
I do.
Voice acting is in your future.
Yeah.
I keep seeing the ad pop up on Instagram.
Yeah, I know. You say it once,
and now for more from Steam Patriots.
This hour brought to you by
Rob. We're going to use you for bumpers.
Hey,
and now a PSA from.
Is this an internship joke? Is that what the joke was from?
It was a joke from like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah, this Steaminator.
So much.
I
can't
remember what I did yesterday. Do you want?
Oh, hey, man. You're right here at the end. We've had tonight was a show about nothing. We did manage to do the usual.
This was
topics.
the Seinfeld episode.
This was
we did manage to do nothing. So we accomplished our goal.
Cross off.
I accomplished something.
You did. You did. I have to
Only
apologize to everybody out there for
I've been working.
Watching
Yeah,
us.
you've been working away too, Barb. Yeah.
Next week, everybody.
Drinking beer.
What I thought was going whomst I thought was going to be on tonight, Mr. Chad Corey, author of Sons of Ashgard, little anthropomorphic, cool looking guys, kind of Viking style. Chad Corey, his last name is spelled Corrie. Keep an eye on our socials. We'll be talking about him, but he's going to be here next week to talk about his books. He's got quite the resume of written works. So keep next Wednesday on resume on your calendar. Do not forget Beyond the Stars and Steam Patriots. This is number 2 on Kickstarter.com. Go check out our hilarious video that Rory and I just put up on our social. And on our social as well, we try to share all of our appearances. We're on everybody else's show. So thank you all the folks that have taken the time to tolerate us for sometimes it's like an hour.
Quite a circuit.
It's or more. For an hour. I can't believe it.
We actually have questions, like deep, discerning questions that we've never, ever thought of. I think people are finding like subplots in our work that we've never intended. But
no, do stop it. We intended it.
Subplot, subtext.
Yeah. I'm throwing this out here too. Yeah, he just launched his as well. We'll be trying to share this as well. He gave us some love. So grab that, check that URL out. And Vic, of course. Wait, whoa. Vic, make mine Silverline. We will not just yet. Infra fan, we love you. We love you too. And
we
Vic,
love you, man.
Oh, I don't know. Hour and a half elf. I'm not sure. It is 9 p.m. I can't imagine. I can't believe we did it with no topic. Rory
hey, I gave you my 2 cents.
We'll another hour you viewers will never get back.
It was a good one. This is a good one. Next week we'll be here. It'll be post-campaign, and I hope that we'll be saying thank you for making it a successful camp. That's a tough word. And I'm going to just wrap it up before we crash and burn here. As always, good night, everybody. I got to get over here to our ending, our Kickstarter or our count end. What? Where's the Wednesday end? You just keep showing that.
Just keep
showing
content.
I can't find it. I'm
we're gonna be live for a long time now.
Sponsor Tuesday. I think I'm just gonna have to. There we go.
The failure matter.
Bye. Love you all, fans. Good night. Make mine Silverline.
Hi, I'm Bill Black. I created FemForce, but you know what? Today, make mine Silverline.